Look at me filming during the day. Who would have thought I would ever be here? Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I am so excited to be doing my top 26 most anticipated books of 2026. First of all, before we start, some housekeeping. Filming during the day, first time with this backdrop. Let me know if you prefer the night videos. Second of all, I am trying my best to film with a microphone due to the fact that it's incredibly hot. So I do have the fan on full blast behind the camera, which usually ruins the sound quality. And like I said, the sound quality hasn't been great. So microphone it is. And finally, I do, as always, have my iPad next to me, which I will be referring to for many of these books due to the fact that they're not out yet. So I don't have all the facts off the top of my head. I will be trying my best for you. So for this list, I have all the books that are coming out in 2026, obviously, that I am looking forward to. However, my range of enthusiasm is on a spectrum here. There are books where I'm gnawing at the bars of my enclosure because I want them right now. And then there are books that I'm like, oh, I heard about this. It sounds really interesting. Put it on the list. So let's just start. The first book that I am indeed gnawing at the bars of my enclosure for does not have a release date and hasn't had a release date for years, and I'm angry about it. It is The Last King of Faerie by Cassandra Clare. This will be Kit and Ty's official book that we've been waiting for many years. I think it's been around 3 years now of just waiting and waiting and waiting, and we don't even have a release date. But it's finally confirmed that it's 2026, and if it doesn't happen, Cassandra Clare, I am under your bed. I feel like this is a good time to remind you that I have an entire Cassandra Clare shelf. I've been here since I was 12. That's 10 years of my life dedicated to Cassie Clare. Give me Kit Ty now. And then let's actually start chronologically and go through the months. We are going to start with January. I have 2 books set for January, and they are both coming out on the 27th of January. Interestingly enough, there's quite a few books coming out on the same day. First book I am really excited for is called A Beast Slinks Towards Beijing. I'm not gonna lie, I saw a Instagram oomph post a book review for this one, and the review was so good. I was like, give me now. I am gonna read you the blurb from Goodreads. A dark, magical, realistic view family saga that moves through the Japanese occupation of Manchuria, the Cultural Revolution, and the present day to explore the effects of intergenerational trauma, the legacy of colonialism, and the inescapability of fate. I'm sad. So basically, we follow a girl who last saw her father when she was 14. He went out and never came back. And then 10 years later, she receives news that there's somebody at her front porch claiming to be her father. She goes home and she's like, that is a broken shell of my father. And he is haunted by some sort of prophecy. And now they must go on some journey to try and make sense of what he has seen, what he knows, and what they will find out. The book also features fox spirits, which is something that I've always found really fascinating for me. I think I read ages ago Wicked Fox, which I think that one is Korean culture. But it was really interesting, and I've been intrigued since. So I'm really looking forward to this one. The next book coming out on the 27th of January is completely different, and it's Better Catch Up, Krishna Kumar, and it is a sapphic queer coming of age story. Is it coming of age? If it is, yeah. Krishna Kumar is going into her freshman year of college. She's just come back from a trip to India where she's been flirting back and forth with this girl, and the whole time she's like, oh my god, I'm about to get my first kiss, it's gonna happen, and then it never does. So she's back home and she gets her flight canceled to where she's gonna go study, and she ends up carpooling with somebody she knows, and they hit it off. And this sounds fun and whimsy, and I love it. Now, I'm not one that usually is like too caught up on like, I haven't had my first kiss, I haven't held hands romantically. I don't really care. But I think that's why like these YA books serve their purpose. Like, you know, I was recently doing a book review for Everything She Does Is Magic, and I'm like, yeah, the miscommunication was incredibly silly, but they're 17. So what? Moving on to February, we start on the 3rd of February with Books and Bewitchment, and I actually don't really know much about this book, but it was on Simon & Schuster's ARC list, and I was like, oh, this sounds interesting. But according to the blurb, in this cozy witchy rom-com, a young woman works to turn a run-down small-town video store into the bookshop of her dreams, only to discover a powerful magic that's been lying dormant, and a forbidden love she can't resist. Locked in. So basically the main character, Ria's estranged grandmother, passes away and leaves her everything behind, including a magical inheritance. So yeah, the book is very much about like estranged family and found family. Like she has to go home to a town that her mother has made her promise to never go back to. She has to work things out with her sister. And apparently there is something in this town that is attempting to drive her out. The love interest is her grandma's sworn enemy's grandson, which just sounds really fun. It's like, imagine you can't be with somebody because my grandma and their grandma had beef. My next book is Get Over It, April Evans, also coming out on February 3rd. This one I believe is about a girly pop who has been left behind by her ex-fiance, and she is now run down. She don't have the money for rent, and she is trying her best. Basically, she gets a job as an art teacher at this summer resort, and it comes with boarding, and so she's like, bet, let me grab this job, only to run into Daphne. Now, Daphne doesn't know that April, the main character, was left by her fiance Elena for Daphne. I can't believe this. So I do believe that Daphne doesn't know that Elena left her fiance for her. But this sounds really fun, like two art teachers, forced proximity because they're both living together in this random summer resort. And they're both down on their luck when it comes to romance. And then sparks fly. Don't often read sapphic adult romances. I tend to gravitate towards sapphic young adult, as you will see moving on in this video. But I'm really interested in this one, and actually another sapphic adult that I will be mentioning in a sec. Next book is The Sun and the Star Maker by Rachel Griffin, which is coming out on the 17th of February. And this is one of them which I'm like, I don't really know what this book is about. The cover looks really good. I have obviously read the synopsis and I'm like, oh, this sounds interesting. Can I tell you off the top of my head what it's about? No, we're about to find out together. There once was a village so far north that most considered it the top of the world. And in that village, the sun fell in love with the star maker. Nestled deep in the snowy mountains of the Lost Range, the small village of Reverie endures on a miracle. Beyond the reach of the sun, Reverie is dependent upon the magic of the mysterious star maker. Every morning, he trudges across a vast glacier and pulls in sunlight over the peaks, providing the village with the light it needs to survive. Aurora Finch. I love the name Aurora. Aurora Finch grew up in tales of the star maker's magic, never imagining she'd one day meet him. But on the morning of her wedding, a fateful encounter in the frostbitten woods changes everything. Tell me that doesn't sound interesting. Give it to me. Now, our next book is coming out on the 24th of February, and this is one that I need right now in my hand. I tried so hard to apply for the ARC. It is not available in Australia. The ARC is not up for request in Australia. Pissing me off. And the book is And Now Back to You by BK Borison. If you watched my tier ranking video, I go on a rant about how much I loved First Time Caller by BK Borison, which is book 1 in this interconnected standalone series. And I really do love BK Borison's writing. It follows Jackson and Delilah, who are like rival meteorologists, if you can be a rival weatherman, really. And they get stuck together working on like the biggest assignment ever, because it is going to be the biggest storm that hits Baltimore in many, many years. And so they're stuck together, locked in snow. I am indeed gnawing at the bars of my enclosure for this one. My only problem is that it's coming out in February, which will obviously be great cozy vibes for whoever lives in the northern hemisphere. However, it will be the hottest month of the year for me here in Perth. Last February, we all celebrated when it dropped below 40 degrees. That's how hot it gets here. So I'm not sure how it will feel reading about like colleagues stuck together in a snowstorm. We're gonna find out. I am really, really excited for this one, and I really hope we see more of Aiden and Lucy and their family. Oh, a break. I told y'all it's hot. moving on to March, my birthday month. I have 2 books coming out on my birthday, and they are both highly anticipated. The first one is In Her Own League by Liz Tomford. I can't lie. If you've watched my last 2 videos, you will know that the most recent book I read by Liz Tomford was not my favorite by any means. I did not like it at all. I am indeed referring to Rewind It Back. I feel like this book, my hype for it has kind of died down because I don't really care much, but although I still want to read it, and it's coming out on my birthday, which in my mind is a good sign. It's gonna be a good book. That being said, again, it is, so we're still in Windy City, we're still in Chicago, we're still watching the baseball league, and the team, which I believe Isaiah and Kai are on, is now being run by Reese Remington, who is the very first woman to run a major league baseball team. And then there's also the coach, Emmett, who is Miller's dad, if you've read Caught Up. And the coach is not very comfortable with her being there because he likes his team run in a certain way, and she's changing that up. Now, I am really excited for this book because I love Emmett and I love Reese. We've been following them for a few books. My only issue is that I think this book could be done really badly. To very rich people, a man and a woman, one is a coach, one is a team owner, there's already a power imbalance there. And I just think it needs to be done really delicately to be done well. Like there's a very fine line where we can go from, you know, Emmett cares for his team and wants the team to have the best they can, and then we sort of cross that line into misogyny and just being weird. Unfortunately, a lot of romance authors do cross that line, and Liz Tomford definitely crossed it in Rewind It Back. Like, it was, I've said this many times now, Rio was not protective over Hallie. He was weird, and he was kind of gross. Actually, not kind of, he was very gross. I don't like him. I liked him as a side character, and then he got his own book. I was like, I'm itchy because it's hot again. I'm kind of being very aware of the fact that I keep on scratching my face, but it's so hot. That's why I am concerned about this book, but I'm still looking forward to it. Another book that's coming out on my birthday that I am not concerned for because I know my heart and my head and my mind are all in safe hands. It is No Matter What by Cara Bastone. If you've listened to me speak in the past year, you will know that Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Bastone is one of my favorite books this year. I still have not made my top books of 2025 list, but it's definitely in the top 5. And this book, coming out on my birthday, is Second Chance Romance. I know! I'm getting sad. So this book follows Roz and Vin, who are married, so love an established couple, and then they go through a traumatic accident, and they get both really sad, and then they start to grow apart, and she thinks that they can work on their relationship only to find out that he signed a new lease and he is moving out, and she is heartbroken, and to try and find a way to heal, she signs up for an art class, like to learn how to draw. However, this is where it kind of gets iffy for me. It is like a nude drawing class, and she ends up having her ex, or her partner, be the model that she's drawing. And so I'm just like, again, this is one of those books where I'm like, this is gonna have to be done well, because I personally am not a fan of a second chance romance where they're like emotionally so far apart from each other, but they're still physically all over each other. That is not something that I personally enjoy. So I do hope, and we've seen it in Promise Me Sunshine, but I know that the emotions are going to be what's running this book, not the physical. Obviously the physical has a place, but personal opinions, friends, and I'm trying to be careful with what I say, because I'm starting to think this lighting is good. Maybe I should film during the day more often. Also, this is fun. The next book, also coming out on my birthday, is a YA book called I Was a Teenage Death God. 17-year-old Charlie can't touch anyone without stealing bits of their life, which would be enough of a curse without Lou, a ghost, forcing them to steal that life for her own use. Lou has kept Charlie in line for years by threatening to take life directly from their twin sister Sam. But when Lou goes after their friend and a secret crush Ravi, Charlie refuses, and Lou makes good on her threat. As Sam's health rapidly declines, Ravi discovers that Charlie may not be the only person born with an unusual power. The trio embark on a weekend road trip to meet a pair of self-proclaimed death gods who may be the key to saving Sam and understanding Charlie's abilities. But with all roads leading back to Lou, Charlie is forced to face a dark legacy, one that calls their humanity into question. This sounds really interesting, especially for a YA book. I'm definitely looking forward for that. I kind of want to do like an end of the year looking back at those 26 books and being like, oh, I actually did read them. And I really hope this is a book where I look back and I'm like, yeah, that book was as good as it sounded. 2 books coming out on the 10th of March. The first one is How Not to Conjure a Boyfriend, which I'm also going to read out to you because it sounds really funny. This is also YA. Standing at the foot of my comatose crush's hospital bed is not how I envisioned becoming Hayden's partner. First, I needed to find out if he's even into the days, then hopefully some flirting, a cute date up in the valley, or at Taco Bell, a kiss, the normal cutesy stuff. But this? No! Hayden wasn't supposed to get hurt, especially not a trauma-induced extended nap from slipping on the wet floor on my job. On top of that, one of the nurses told his family we're dating. Sure, it might have been because that's what I told her when I was trying to get to his room to see him, but it's not true. The wild part is that his family believes it. They believe that I am dating their son. But it's all based on a lie. Oh, and if that wasn't all bad enough, my comatose crush has an even cuter brother who I think I might be falling for. I feel like this book is gonna have a lot of whimsy, like even just from the synopsis, it sounds fine. Like synopses written in first person are such a hit or miss. But I'm just like, yeah, this sounds like a pissed off teenager that's like, life is not going my way and I'm angry about it. But there's a cute boy nearby. So yeah, my next book on March 10th is How to Write a Love Story by Catherine Walsh, Mother. I've actually already read this one. I very, very kindly received an ARC, which was just like so exciting for me. This one follows Sam, who is an editor, and he is a massive fan of an Irish author called Frank Sheridan, who has now passed away without ever completing the last book in his very, very popular series. So his daughter Kira is now finishing off the final book for him. The only problem is Kira is drowning in writer's block, grief, and rent, because their house is falling apart. So Frank owned this massive house, which like fans creepily come and try to find, and it's falling apart because it's so old and it's been a minute since anyone's taken care of, and now Kira has to take care of it. So Sam gets flown from New York to Ireland, where Kira lives, to be her editor / support person. And then spikes fly. I really, really loved this book. It was right up my alley. Ireland. Don't need to say more. I think the grief in this book was written really, really well. I cried, as I tend to do. I've said this before in my review, and I'll say it again. Frank was such a present character. Like, for somebody who's dead, he was very, very present in the book, which is always really lovely, question mark, to see. Like, yeah, it's lovely to see somebody haunting the narrative, but it's like he's clearly so loved by Kira and by Sam in such different ways, and he clearly brings so many people together. And there's this small town that looks after Kira and eventually starts looking after Sam, and it's a beautiful love story. Alright? It is. So you should read it. My final March book is The Perfect Match by Adiba Jagardar, whom I've enjoyed many of her other books. During the Hen Award, I really loved that one, and this one is her first adult sapphic book, which follows Gina, who is incredibly burnt out from her corporate job, so she quits and starts working at her family's Bangladeshi restaurant, only to be roped into coaching a football team. Football is in soccer, where you kick a ball with your foot. And then we have Maya, who I believe might have been a professional footballer, but now she's not anymore, and she also gets roped into coaching this team of amateur football players. And then Gina and Maya get along. I don't really know much about that other than they are enemies to lovers. They might be football rivals, which would make more sense than actual enemies. But yeah, I'm really excited for this one, and I am very excited to read more of an author that I really, really loved. Moving on, I only have one book in April, which if you've been watching other 2026 releases videos, you might be shocked because there are a lot of books coming out in April, but this is the one that I'm actually really excited for, and it is I Could Give You the Moon by Anna Liang. Mother. Say it with me. either. I have really loved all of Anne Liang's other books. I think I've read all her books except for one. I'm really excited for this one. I do believe it's set in the same world as If You Could See the Sun, and it follows Chanel Tsao, who is very, very famous and very popular and loved by everybody except for Aries Yin. I also love Anne Liang's names. Like, she writes about all these rich, obnoxious characters and gives them obnoxiously rich names. I just love it. So Chanel has like spent all her life making or creating this like perfectly curated picture of the perfect girl, and then Aries' brother goes missing and now they have to work together to find him. I don't know much more about that, but that's enough to hook me and I'm very, very excited. I take a shot every time I say I'm very excited. Alcohol poisoning. Moving on to May, I have a book called Accumulation by Amy Pokwatka, which is not usually my style of book that I reach for. It is gothic haunted. Actually, I love like gothic haunted stories. I just don't read much of them because I am a scaredy cat. The book follows a famous filmmaker, maybe not famous, but like a well-known filmmaker turned stay-at-home mom whose husband buys them this like big manor house that they've moved into, and then she has to figure out whether the house is actually haunted or it's just her. The blurb says the book lays bare the high price women pay for the promises of domesticity and motherhood and the many ways in which families can be haunted. This is personally giving me the same vibes as the yellow wallpaper, which the yellow wallpaper is like barely 27 pages and this is a full novel. So I'm very excited for it. Very scared. There are mentions of haunted dolls, which is not usually for me. I'm sad, you know? In June, we have a few more books than in April and May. Starting with the 2nd of June, we have The Heirs by Faridah. I'm so sorry, I don't know how to say her last name. But I've read Where Sleeping Girls Lie, and I absolutely adored that one. For some reason, I haven't read Ace of Spades. It's an intimidating book. But this one is basically about 5 rich kids who get kind of roped into like a succession sort of thing. Yeah, they're the heirs of an illustrious billionaire. I do believe they are adopted children, and they were trained vigorously by their father to learn how to be a billionaire. And I'm really excited for this because if you know, I do hate billionaires. Don't look at the adjectives here, don't. And I know that the author also hates billionaires. I'm very interested to see their take on such a book. And all the characters are obviously hiding something. It'll have that dark spooky vibe, but hopefully not too scary. And yeah, another book that's also coming out on the 2nd of June is The Secret World of Briar Rose by Cindy Pham, which if you know, you know. I've been a massive fan of Cindy's for a very long time. Actually, my tier ranking video was very much inspired by hers. I used the exact same ranks that she had. But this book is kind of a sapphic retelling of Sleeping Beauty that focuses seriously on mental health and especially depression. And basically this girl's younger sister runs away, and in attempts of finding her sister, she finds herself slipping into this alternate dream universe where Sleeping Beauty, who has been missing for well over 100 years, is. And there's the questions of like, what actually happened? Has this story been real this whole time? And most importantly, did the Sleeping Beauty choose to go to sleep? Again, excitement all around. Can you imagine if I'm making like a most anticipated books video and I'm actually not excited for this one? Boring. My next anticipated book is coming out on the 9th of June, and it is Harvest Season, and the sequel to Tourist Season, which I actually just finished yesterday, and again, I did not expect myself to like it. It is scary and gory, and it is about 3 serial killers. And I don't want to say much because I really don't know how to talk about it without spoiling the book, but it was really good and I loved it, and I found myself laughing, and I found myself almost crying. I didn't cry, but almost. I do wish it were coming sooner. I hope I don't forget everything I read by then. We next have on the 9th of June You Won't Forget Me by Maisie Eddings, and I actually couldn't find much about this book. Mostly just found stuff on Maisie's Instagram, but she had those like tropes post, and it says sapphic angst, revenge against a shithead ex, road trip, friends to lovers, gals being pals, and making out in a totally hetero way. And I've enjoyed a lot of Maisie's other books, especially her other sapphic book, late bloomer. I think she writes queer neurodivergent stories really well, and her voice shines very clearly through them, so I am also looking forward to this one. I feel so redundant. My next and final book for June is A Prince Among Pirates, coming out on the 16th of June, and I won't lie, I am mostly here for the cover. This is a queer YA book. Kit Davenport is in trouble. Not that this would surprise anyone who knows him. Headstrong, reckless, and utterly unsuited for the stodgy House of Lords, Kit has spent years dodging his father's stern disapproval and delighting in clandestine rendezvous. Time is running out. With an arranged marriage looming and the confines of white ways and stiff decorum closing in, Kit is desperate to escape a life that feels completely wrong for him. His solution? A wildly impulsive decision that lands him aboard the Deliverance, a galleon captained by the infuriatingly charismatic Reggie Sharp. Before Kit can say wrong ship, he's trading ballroom etiquette for rum-soaked camaraderie, explosive gunfights, and perhaps most excitingly, heart-stopping kisses. I like books with pirates, I like gay books, I like funny books, I like whimsy books, so I think I will like this book. My only thing is, it is YA, and so sometimes I'm just like, how are you going to fit all of that into a YA book? Like, how are you already a captain of misfit pirates at 18? But whatever. Moving on to August, I have 2 books coming out on the 4th of August. My first one, which, can you believe we've made it this far without mentioning? Silver Sweet by Kirsten by Herity. Oh, I know, I did mention the Addicted series earlier. Tom and Phoenix. This book follows Tom Cobalt, who is the 5th Cobalt, as he is struggling because his band that he has worked very hard on is dying in front of his eyes. He is an extreme perfectionist, and so people in his band have kind of been like, bye dude, I can't be with you anymore. He did try to recruit Phoenix to be his drummer, and Phoenix said he will only join if Tom begs. And Tom said, okay. Now Tom might not have any other choice. They are in rival bands, if Tom's band can really count as a band anymore. Phoenix has a band that's blowing up, everybody's a fan, everybody loves them, they have top hits, and who knows, we don't really know much about the exact plot of the book, but we do know that it's gonna be rivals to lovers. Maybe my theory is like their record label's gonna like force them on tour together or something like that, or to make an album together, something. I don't know, but I am gnawing the bars of my enclosure for this one. Give it to me! The next book coming out on the 4th of August is Adversary to the Villain, which is the 4th and, may I say, final book for the Assistant to the Villain series. I have read the first 3 and I absolutely adored them. I will say that the 3rd book kind of dragged and was a bit too long for my liking. I just think that at this point there are too many characters having their own separate plot lines and their own stories, and I was like, we could have split this into 2 books. I do understand that publishing is a nightmare and you can't, dreams don't always come true. I am still very excited for this one, and I can't wait to see more because book 3 did end on a cliffhanger. I mean, like, I saw it coming, but it did end on a cliffhanger, and I'm excited to see what Hannah comes up with, because she is such a whimsical, ridiculous writer, and I love to see it. My next book is coming out on the 31st of August, and we don't even have a title or a cover for this one, but it is the 5th and possibly final book on this Woven Kingdom series. I've read the first 3 books and absolutely adored them. I have a reading vlog for the 2nd book if you want to go watch that. I actually haven't read the 4th book yet because I'm trying to space them out and to, like, you know, hold on, because again, book 5 doesn't come out until the 31st of August. The fact that I haven't read book 4, I don't really know what's gonna happen in this one, but I'm very excited, and I need a title soon. Give it to me now. We're almost done. 3 more books. The first book in September is coming out on the 8th of September, which is Espiritu by Aiden Thomas, which is the why am I always slipping off my bed? Sequel to Cemetery Boys. I do know that we are following Julian, who used to be a ghost in book 1 after being sacrificed in like a forbidden ritual. Now he's human again, but he has some sort of dark magic lingering within him, and he can still see other ghosts and stuff like that. Getting another like that's how I say it, joins in and offers some help to Julian, and Julian's partner, is like, I don't think you should accept their help, but Julian does so anyways because he thinks that this might help, and then chaos unleashes. Next book coming out on the 15th of September is Grim Tidings, also by borison. It's been crazy years for borison. She must be making bank. This is technically book 2 in the Good Spirits like universe, again interconnected standalone series, and I think this one follows the Grim Reaper. Don't know anything about it, but I do like, again, as I've been saying, I like whimsy, I like fun, so I am looking forward to it. My final book of the year that I am very, very, very much looking forward to is Loathed Love by Krishna and Becca Ritchie, and this is indeed Audrey Virginia's book. I know we're all gagged, we're all shocked. We don't really know anything about this other than this Audrey's book. You guys know if there's a cobalt around, I will be reading. That's true. Krishna and Becca do have a 3rd book coming out, which I believe is coming out in May actually, but I haven't read the first 2 books in that trilogy, so I didn't put this on the list, but I am definitely looking forward to reading the whole trilogy, possibly when it's out. Might make a reading vlog. Who knows? Reading vlogs are really hard to make because I just yap so much. This video is already 42 minutes. Boop. Boop. Yeah, that was my final book. It's coming out on the 10th of November, which is crazy. Give me a time machine now. But also time moves so quickly. It'll be here in no time. And you guys should leave a comment and like and subscribe so I can grow my platform, so I can get more arcs. I need it, y'all. But yeah, these are all the books that I have on my most anticipated releases for 2026. I'm sorry this video was all over the place. Obviously, I don't know much about many of these books, but I'm very much looking forward to it. And like I said, I would love to do at the end of 2026. Yeah, sorry, I confused my years. I would love to do a video where like I look back and I hear my like rants and stuff like that, and I'm like, oh, I actually didn't really like that book, or I'm like, I loved it way more than I thought I would. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really hope the sound quality in this video is better. I will see you in my next video. I'm obviously uploading a lot in December because lots of wrap-ups, lots of crazy things happening. Like I mentioned earlier, I still have my 2025 favorites video to come, and I'm looking forward to that because I've read a lot of really good books this year. But yeah, thank you for watching. I love you. I always get so awkward at the end, but